up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I hope we're recording. Beautiful summer evening. Going for a quick ride. I thought I'd talk a little bit about the Triumph Thruxton. I'm gonna make it kind of like a review, but a little more informal. I hope you guys can hear me okay. So this is a 2016 Thruxton. It's not the R version. I basically stole this bike. When I got it, I got a heck of a deal on it out the door. I paid less than, well, I got it a year ago, so it was 2018, and it was a leftover model from 2016. Now, I wanted a very specific color, which was white, and I wanted a fairing, and of course the Vance and Hines pipes, because at the time they weren't making a lot of them. There weren't a lot of exhaust makers that were making pipes for this bike, and I didn't want it to sound like a crotch rocket, even though it kind of has the style of it, even though it's not a crotch rocket. It's more like a, of course it's a cafe racer, or it's a remake of, the older bikes from the 60s and 70s. But point of all this is I got a good deal on the bike. I got a heck of a deal. Now, there's a few things I really like about it, and there's a couple of things I love about it. Now, having said that, it's got its flaws. So I guess I'll start off with the negative, and then I'll finish off in the positive. I like to do that. I think it's better. But whatever. The point is, one of the negative things of this bike is it is a parallel twin. It's not a V-twin, it's a parallel twin, and this bad boy vibrates like it's nobody's business. I think in some of my other videos I've talked about other bikes I've had. Now, I didn't do any kind of moto vlogging or anything like that on my previous bikes, but I've had CBR 600, CBR 1000s, I've had ZX7Rs, I've had ZX9R, I've had ZX10Rs, I've had 2 or 3 of those, and those bikes are super smooth. Now, I've also had a Harley Davidson Street Glide, which is a big cruiser bike. I love that bike, but I just didn't use it. I got it prematurely, and I just wasn't ready for it, and I got rid of it about 6 months ago, maybe a little longer, but I got this one a year ago. And I gotta say, this is definitely one of my favorite bikes, if not the best bike I've ever had. And it's not extremely powerful. It's not even, I wouldn't even call it really powerful. I can tell you that a 600, my first CBR was a 2004. It was a 600RR. It would have smoked this bike. But different engines, different styles. This doesn't have a ton of power. It's got plenty of go. Like, see, I gotta go around this guy and move over, guy. All right, so it's got plenty of go, as you can see. It's got plenty of pickup, but at around, personally, now I'm 5'11", 205, 210 pounds on a good day, and it fits me perfectly. The ergonomics of it are just like perfect. I think that's the word, but it just fits me perfectly. It's got clip-ons. The fairing doesn't really do much. I think it's just there for decoration, but some people swear that the fairing actually covers. Man, these people are boring me. Gotta get moving. I should have started this review a little later, but sorry, guys. But say hi to the camera. The point is, where'd I leave off? The point is that it's got plenty of go. I was on vibration, I'm sorry. So at about 80 miles an hour, this bike vibrates, and it starts really bad. And I think it's because of the parallel twin engine design. And a lot of people have told me that it's, there's little mods that you can do to it, like rubber gaskets here and there and rubber mounts on I don't know what kind of thing, but, and I'm sure anything can be done, but it is so super uncomfortable. I can't even stress it enough. It's extremely uncomfortable at about 80 miles an hour. Like you are 80 to 90. Like I haven't taken it past that for a long period of time, so I couldn't really tell you, but I can only imagine. It vibrates like a mother. Okay, like it's crazy. Like your hands start to tingle, they go numb pretty quick, and I'm not even, like at that speed the air's picking you up, you know, so you're kind of more of an upright position, and it's still vibrating like crazy. Like it's super uncomfortable at that speed. Now that's the negative. That's about the only thing I've ever seen. I've had it like a year now, so I guess I can talk about it, but it's one of the only downsides. Yeah, go ahead, douchebag. Freaking guy. It's one of the only downsides to, oh, I think I took it. Whew, nice little turn. See, it's got plenty of go. See, I can already feel the vibration like crazy, right? And I wouldn't trade it for any bike out there. I'm so pleased with this bike. I just love the way it looks. I don't care if it shook or vibrated until the wheels fell off. I'd still ride it. It's just so much fun, especially right now. Look at that sunset. I hope the GoPro's catching it, but I just love this motorcycle. I love the feeling I get. I was born in I'm 38 years old now, and I grew up, I think I was born in the wrong generation, if I'm being honest, only because I love old movies like Mad Max and all that. And so this bike kind of makes me feel, you know, like I assume those guys felt back then. So I gave you the negative. Let's get that out of the way. Now I'm gonna give you, I don't know that I have a countdown. Everybody does a countdown, but I'm just gonna talk about it. So if I give you 3, you know, things I like about it, then you get 3. If I give you 5, then cool, right? 1 obviously is the look of it. It is just, I mean, it's just a perfect bike to me. It just looks awesome. And I'll take some, I think you've seen it on some of my other videos. If not, I'll link some of the other videos in the description of this one. And I'd appreciate a like. And if you got any questions about the bike or anything, you know, motorcycle related, or you just want to give a like and or a thumbs up and subscribe, I'd appreciate it. I wish these guys would move, but they're not moving. I don't want to squeeze them between there. So back to what I like about this bike. 1 is the look of it. It's just awesome. 2, I gotta be honest with you, I have Vance & Hines pipes on it, and I love the sound. The stock pipes, they just sounded like crap. It was muffled. I've been thinking about doing an X pipe on it, but if you look at some of the other videos or reviews on how-to videos or whatever you want to call it, it's a nightmare. Like it's a 2-man job, and come on, bro. What is this guy doing? You let me in? Thanks. And so it's a 2-man job. It seems like a little bit of a nightmare. You got to lift the tank a little bit, and then you have to undo parts of the frame. You got to remove part of the radiator. Like, you got to move it forward, and it's hot in this helmet. It's just a nightmare. I don't know that I want to do it. And if you can see if you've watched some of my other videos, you can tell that I don't like people touching my bike. I do my own maintenance. You know, I do everything that I possibly can myself, only because I don't like people touching my bike. When I had other bikes and I would take them to the dealership to get serviced, first thing I would tell them is don't touch the clutch. First thing they touched was the clutch. Don't move this, they would move it. Don't move my suspension, excuse me. Thanks. Look at that sunset. Come on, bro. Stupid light. Sorry about that. So, yeah, I don't like taking my bikes to dealerships or my cars, because I just feel like they always, it's not their car, they're not going to treat it the way you would, or their bike. So, having said that, I was on 2, the sound. So I was thinking about an X pipe, and if I do that, I don't know that I can film you know, 3, 4, 5, 6 hours of it, because I just I don't know that I can do that, you know. I don't know that I can just, you know, go from start to finish and just get it out of the way. But I don't know. So I love the sound of this bike the way it is. I've heard if you do the X-Pipe, it sounds a lot better. So I don't know. If I do it, you know, I'll film it. I say I won't, but I will. 3. I don't know. There's so many things I like about this bike. It's just the feeling of it. I go back to this, to the way the bike makes me feel. Like it's not really nostalgic, because I wasn't born in those days, but it's just this feeling I get when I'm on the bike that I didn't get when I was on my Street Glide or on my crotch rockets or anything like that. I guess this goes back to styling, but I get compliments on this bike all the time. I mean, all the time. When I'm at the gas station, and it's usually an older dude, because these bikes, like I said, you know, they were around back in the 60s and 70s, so obviously it's an older dude. They walk up to me and they say, "Man, I love your bike. It's pretty cool. I used to have a Triumph back in the 70s, you know, back when I was a kid." And I'm looking at him, and he's like old enough to be my dad, right? And that's kind of cool. I don't, you know, I'll take a compliment from, I don't care about the age. I always get compliments on the bike. They look really, really, I just love the way they look. And to me, there's something about the white one, about the white bike, that just gives it, just a cool, really, like a really cool look. I'm sorry. There is one thing I kind of dislike now that I'm on it. So I'm cruising at about 65 miles an hour. I'm in 6th gear, and the RPMs are at 3,500. Now, it's kind of, if I'm telling you, that 6th gear is almost like, I mean, you get to from 1st to 6th gear in a hurry. I could be at 60 miles an hour and be in 6th gear. Now, coming from a crotch rocket world, you know, it is night and day. I mean, on even on a 600, especially the new ones, you can hit 60 miles an hour in 1st gear. So I've never really opened it up here. Cool, there's no cars. Let's open it up a little bit. That was 100. See, that happens all the time. You see the mirror? This bad boy bends, or not bends, but it goes out of whack. The right one does it. I think it's just a factory defect or something. I kicked into 3rd gear at 60 miles an hour. I've never done that. I've opened it up, but just I've let the RPMs just kind of ride out. But I think that's pretty much it, guys, for the video. I can't think of anything else. I'm sure I'm missing something. I can't think of what else I like or dislike about the bike. I'm gonna pull over up here so you can get a better shot or a better view of it, just because, like I said, the look is one of the best things about this bike. Well, I don't know that I can pull over here. You're gonna have to fast forward through this, because I don't really like editing, and so this is all gonna run as one video. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna pull over up here. Look at the sun. I don't know if you can catch it. I don't know if the GoPro's picking it up. I hope it is. But really, really cool. So, like I said, guys, if you guys have any questions or comments, I try to respond as quickly as I can. You know what? I'm gonna pull over right here. If you can believe it, this bike has hazards. I won't turn them on because I think you look like a douche or like a dork when you turn them on. But I'm just gonna step away from the bike a little bit so you guys can look at it. Isn't that a cool bike? It just looks super awesome. I'm gonna pretend like I'm looking at my phone here because there's people driving. I really don't care. But isn't that cool? Now, I'll do kind of like a walk around. I hope the camera's picking it up. It's a little dirty, but like I said, I'm 5'11" and change. I'm I'm probably 6 feet tall with shoes on or boots, but and about 205, 210. This is just a sick bike. So I appreciate the like, appreciate the subscription. Let me know, like I said, if you guys have any suggestions or want to see something else related to this bike. Down the road I'm going to be getting maybe a couple of different bikes, and I don't know what kind of channel this is going to turn into. I just know it's going to be something motorcycle related. So yeah, let me know if you have any questions.